Here. What's going on, people? It's your boy Marv Lattimore, aka Marv Lat, and this is another edition of the Marvy Marv Show. Yes, sir. I got my mic now. We are back in full gear. Had to make sure I had my equipment ready, but I was just testing the waters last couple episodes, just to see, where y'all heads was at, see what y'all was doing, see what y'all was vibing with. Yeah, we back here again. We doing it big. We'll say this is episode 3. I mean, we did a 2-parter last week, so we'll say this is episode 3 of the Marvy Marv Show. I might change the title of this show soon. This is a tentative title, but just work with me right now, people. I enjoy y'all for coming back. This is basically a little lounge session where we just sit back, chop it up about different topics, different things, just pop culture in general. And being what I am, I'm going to let y'all know something. I am a black nerd, aka a blurred. A blurred is basically what we call black nerds out here in the world. But I'm also from the hood. I grew up in the hood. Most black nerds grew up in the hood. You feel me? One of my favorite things to always talk about is anime. And anime is becoming a big part of pop culture. So big that now you see on TV there's a lot of live action versions of some of the best anime ever made, pretty much. You know, you've seen it throughout time with Dragon Ball, all the way up to now with One Piece doing well. Death Note had a crack at it. Naruto's on the way. So much other ones. Technically, we'll say The Last Airbender. That's always up for debate of if that's a anime or not. But we'll say it's an American anime. But anyway, so many different ones have come up now, and they're doing their thing, that a lot of people are trying to get into anime now. They want to know what's all the commotion, what's making these fire. Because in your mind, you're like, these are just cartoons from overseas, right? But they're more than that. You know, they're just as good as live action TV shows. If you were watching my show in the last episode, I said to y'all that Grey's Anatomy is known as the One Piece of dramas. But that was more because of the longevity. You'll never see Meredith or any of the characters on that show actually having battles for devil fruits or nothing like that. No, that's not happening. But what is happening is that to be compared like that means that it's doing something right. They could have compared it to The Simpsons, but they didn't. Anime is becoming a huge thing. It's pretty much mainstream. You can say that. And a lot of your friends, if you're an anime fan, are going to come up to you and say, yo, what is an anime I should watch? If I want to get into anime, what should I do? What show should I go to first? And you might sit there and go, I don't know, because you might put them on the way you already find fire. But since you're so many levels ahead in the anime kingdom, you don't want to just throw the heat at them crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I have thought about it. First off, let me explain to you the history of anime. It all started a long time ago in the country of... Gotcha. A lot of y'all was about to press pause and be like, I'm not going to sit here and run through this whole list. You would have ran through it and saw me at the end saying bye. I wasn't going to do that to y'all. I would never break down the history. I wouldn't even break it down for myself. You can go to Japan and break down the history and they'll look at you like, yo, fam. We don't need to. We're not going to school. We're not trying to hear that. That's not happening. But what we are going to do is we're going to do a little fun segment known as Facts or Fuck Out of Here. Now, this is the first time I've ever cursed on this show, but it's the first time for everything. But the reason why I'm cursing is because I'm from New York. This is how we talk. Whenever you're having a debate or a discussion with somebody about anything and you breaking something down, if that person agrees with you in New York, they're going to say facts, which means I agree. I completely agree with you. If they say FOH, fuck out of here, that means I disagree with you, fam. You couldn't be farther from being right. You know what I mean? So that's how we're going to do it on the show. This is one of my favorite segments. I'm bringing this back from my old podcast over to here with my solo show. And we're going to do that right now. So this list, what I do is I usually go online. Let me slow it down real quick. I usually go online and I usually find a list because everybody makes lists about different things, different topics, different subjects all over history. And I'm always like, if everybody's making a list, who's there to debate the list? Who's there? But outside of writing in the comments, you know? So I told myself, why don't I check out some of these lists and see what's going on? And I found one that was good for all you up and comer intro to anime heads out there. This one is Comic Book Resources, and they were saying they found 20 anime that's good to put somebody onto, basically. Long story short. Shout out to comicbookresources.com. I found a lot of lists on there, but this one is mainly an anime one. But these are 20 anime that you could put somebody onto. If somebody says, yo, fam, what's a good anime to get into the genre of anime? These are 20 that you will find. Now, since there are 20, I'm not going to go through each and every one of them in every step of the way, but I will go through two halves. So starting from 20 to 10, 20 to 11. There is Sailor Moon, Monster, Hellsing Ultimate, Trigun, Baccano, The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, A Silent Voice, Psycho-Pass, Erased, and One Punch Man. That's pretty good for a first half. I even noticed that they took the liberty of putting movies in there. So basically they saying you can get somebody in the anime through a movie. I think that's pretty fire. So just going off of this is pretty interesting because they went with like a fantasy story like Sailor Moon to a psychological thriller like Monster. Because Monster is basically like, in a sense, it's like just serial killings, and it's very dark and demented. But if you watch Dexter, you can watch Monster. See how easy it is to compare that? That's how you got to hit it off with your friends. If you watch Charmed, you can almost watch Sailor Moon. Or what's the one, Witch Academia? You can watch one of those. Trigun and Hellsing Ultimate also is crazy too. Hellsing is more of the supernatural. Not more, it is. It's the supernatural kind involving vampires and vampire hunters and stuff of that nature. Demons, the dark world, hell, all of that stuff. A lot of monster stuff. So that one's pretty cool too. I can't even get mad at that. Trigun. Trigun is one of my favorite anime, so I would tell somebody to get on that. So a lot of these I would say facts to for the first half. Trigun, I would definitely say put somebody onto that. Put somebody on the Sailor Moon for sure. Monster I feel like it's a bit much, but I would put somebody on a Monster. Hellsing Ultimate, I would say no to only because they are what we call OVA, which is original video anime. Basically, what those are, in a sense, is just like a story between the main story. So sometimes they could actually be right there with the story, aka the canon, and sometimes they just wasting your time, fam. It's kind of like what was them Disney? Remember when Disney made those movies that went straight to like VHS and DVD, and they ain't have to really tell you a story. They just chose to tell you a story, like Lion King 1.5 or Mulan 2, stuff like that. Or when Lilo was away from Stitch and Stitch went on those adventures, and people was like, "Where the hell is Lilo?" Stuff like that. You don't really need them, but they kind of help. So I wouldn't really recommend that. That one I would say fuck out of here. Baccano is pretty easygoing. It's a fun crime anime, kind of like around town anime. So I'd be cool with that too. That's facts. Now, The Girl Who Leapt Through Time and A Silent Voice are interesting because, like I said, they're both movies. I'm not sure if I would really just tell you to go watch a movie and now you're involved with anime. But it's so interesting, I can't say no to that. So I would say facts. Did I see The Girl Who Leapt Through Time? No. Did I see A Silent Voice? Yes, and it is sad. So that one's kind of a toss-up. But I got to see The Girl Who Leapt Through Time. I heard it was pretty good. I just didn't really care to see it. Psycho-Pass is also kind of in that realm too of just like half supernatural, half thriller, half obviously psychological, but it's a cop show nonetheless. It's just in a futuristic time setting with just a lot of just mental behavior going on. But it is still a cop show. At the end of the day, it's a cop show. And like I told y'all before, ain't nothing wrong with a cop show. There's a lot of cop shows out here. So there's cop shows and anime, just in different time settings. So I would say facts to that too. Now, Erased is wild. Erased is wild. It deals with time travel, but it has a lot of just like, this man goes back in time to see about a murder from back in the day. Long story short, I'm not going to go too far into it. But at the end of the day, he sees a lot of things that he probably forgot about when he was a kid, so he has to relive those moments, stuff like that. A lot of twists and turns happen. That one's kind of crazy too. I'm not sure if I'll put somebody onto that, but it's only 12 episodes, so it's easy to put somebody onto that. And lastly, in the first half is One Punch Man. One Punch Man, I would put somebody onto that, but because you could go through the first season and One Punch Man was just a silly comedy show where he was trying to be a hero. It was still telling you a story, but it was just goofiness of like him literally defeating his enemies with one punch. And when you find out how he became One Punch Man, you are kind of intrigued. You're like, how? Like there was this whole thing where, long story short, he did a workout consisting of a lot of jumping jacks, a lot of running, a lot of push-ups, and I forgot the other one. I think it was sit-ups or something like that. But long story short, he did all of those consistently every single day, a lot of them, and became super strong. It got so big that it was a viral moment where people were actually doing his workout online, and they got brolic, some of them. I would, yeah, I would go with facts. I mean, One Punch Man is getting mainstream too, as if you don't know, it's getting a live action movie from the guy who made Fast and the Furious. So that's gonna be kind of fun. Now, here's the top 10 anime that they feel you should put somebody onto. Again, I'm reading them from 10 to 1, okay? So just like before, I was reading from 20 to 11. This is from 10 to 1. So we got Ghost in the Shell, Standalone Complex, Cowboy Bebop, Sword Art Online, Steins Gate, Attack on Titan, My Hero Academia, Your Name, which is a movie, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Death Note, and here's the interesting one. For the number one anime that they feel that you should put anybody onto if they're trying to get to anime, simply they put Miyazaki. Anything from Studio Ghibli. Anything that Miyazaki has made, anything that Studio Ghibli has made, they're saying just watch it and you will fall in love with anime from there. Now, if you do not know who this man is, I will explain that to you in a minute. Hayao Miyazaki. I don't want to mess up that man's first name. He paid the cost to be the boss, so I'm not going to disrespect that man's first name. But what I will say is, the greatest thing about these 10 is that Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex, Cowboy Bebop, and I wouldn't say Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, but the first Full Metal, Death Note, and the Miyazaki movies, definitely. These ones I was watching when I was younger. So Full Metal Alchemist, yeah. So real quickly, Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex, technically another cop show, but in a futuristic setting. You've probably seen a live action movie with Scarlett Johansson, and if you didn't, nobody's mad at you, because us anime fans didn't really care to see it neither. Not that woman's fault, just the movie wasn't that good. But pretty good anime. The original anime movie was amazing, ahead of its time, legendary. So you could put people on with that movie, or you can put people on with this show. Came on Cartoon Network, which means it was kind of mainstream, so that helps. Cowboy Bebop. Cowboy Bebop, if you do not know, is not only one of my favorite anime of all time, it's a lot of people's favorite anime of all time. It might arguably go down as the Mount Rushmore of anime, one of the greatest animes ever, to do with bounty hunters and space, and they mixed it all into one, and they found a way to get cowboys cool, in the hood especially. The live action Netflix version, we always look away from that. If you ever try to tell your friends about how good Cowboy Bebop is, do not mention the live action anime adaptation. Do not mention the live action adaptation, because you will get traumatized and you'll start ranting, and it'll make a person turn away from wanting to watch the anime. Do not, I repeat, do not do this. I'm warning y'all. I've been there before. Don't do it. It ain't going to end well. What else we got here? We got, what did we say? We said Sword Art Online. Sword Art Online came out not too long ago, but it revolutionized what we call the isekai genre. Now, isekai genre, real quick, is basically a genre for anime where a person gets trapped into a fantasy world. Or in this case, they got trapped in a fantasy world. Whether there's ramifications to it or not, they got trapped in there. Majority of the time, the main character died. And when the main character died, they woke up reincarnated into some other person or some other being. Or in certain cases, they woke up as themselves, just in another world. So a lot of isekai got more and more after Sword Art, but Sword Art is not the first to do it. But they were one of the ones to pretty much make it popular in the modern world. Okay, so if you don't want to, for you anime fans watching this, if you don't want to say that they were the ones to set the tone, that's cool. But I feel that they were the ones to set the tone. Because after that, you shot a lot of them. For us old heads, it might be Doc Hack, it might be Inuyasha, it might be something. But for me, I feel like that one set the tone. Anyway, Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan is the one I will say the automatic facts to. Here's why. My girlfriend, whom I love dearly, I tried to put her on the One Piece. And I'll explain why that is not a good idea after this. She is still currently trying to catch up to One Piece. I gave her a break and let her watch Attack on Titan. She's done with Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan is not a better show than One Piece. It's not a better story, but there is less episodes. And it is kind of like, it has the Game of Thrones vibe of like betrayal and people getting hurt and gore and a lot of craziness, and they just go off the wall with it. Off the wall. 0 to 100 a lot of times, and it made it one of the best anime of the modern era. And some people could argue that it's one of the best anime of all time. That's always up for debate, but it was a good show. When it ended, a lot of people were sad, like Game of Thrones. But it didn't end whack like Game of Thrones, more to speak. But it is definitely a good watch. So if you want to tell somebody to watch it, this should be more number one. But hey, this is not my list. My Hero also has a good shot of being up there too, because it's a simple show about superheroes. It's like a kinder X-Men, but it still has its dark elements because it's a show about people with powers, people with superheroes. You didn't see that in the game before. Like I said, X-Men, Heroes, other shows, you haven't seen that before. So it's a simple structure of just people with powers. One kid who didn't get powers, however, got his inherited to him by another hero who knew that his time was coming to an end. And that's where the fun begins. So it is good. It is fun. But just, it's an acquired taste. Speaking of My Hero Academia, August 5th is the last chapter of the manga, which is the comic book version of My Hero Academia, if you didn't know. So this summer is definitely going to be a fun one, and we're going to be saying goodbye to a very good series. Anyway, let's finish this up. Number 4, Your Name. Now, that is a movie where two people switch bodies, a boy and a girl, and they basically find each other and fall in love through all of that stuff. I'm just giving you the cliff notes. That's a quick rom-com, but just an anime version. You feel me? So you could put somebody onto that. You can just, like, one random lazy Sunday, throw that on. It's like no more than 2 hours, Get that in, get that out. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is the better version of the original Full Metal Alchemist. Basically, but this, you have to, the beauty of this is when you put somebody onto this, you have to let them know, pay attention to the first 5 minutes. When they explain how these brothers become alchemists in the first place and what drives them to do alchemy, the science of things, it's chef's kiss. It's beautiful. Is it tragic? Hell yes. But it's beautiful. It is a beautiful show, and the journey they go on is amazing. And us anime fans are always thankful for the Brotherhood version because it's just beautiful. It's beautiful the way they finished the story right, the way they told the story better. They followed more of the comic book version, the manga version, and went from there. Death Note, also very good. A kid who finds a book that allows him to kill anybody he chooses just by writing their name in the book. And if he doesn't choose a way to kill him, they just find a way to off him, just like a heart attack, basically. So I know that sounds crazy. And I know it's tough to tell somebody, to sell somebody on that. Like, kid gets a book, just starts writing names down, because it just sounds like some terrorism stuff. And technically it is. However, this is an anime. This is fantasy. Thankfully to God, there is no such thing like that in real life, because that would be scary. But it is a good show because then, once again, you get cops involved, and then it becomes a game of cat and mouse and intellect. And you find out that you are dealing with one of the smartest anime characters known to man. That is your sales pitch right there. And somebody will watch it. And lastly, of course, the Miyazaki movies. I agree. Facts. The Miyazaki movies, you can put anybody onto it at any time from any movie. My Neighbor Totoro or Kiki's Delivery Service or anything. Even the latest one that he just won an Academy Award for, The Boy and the Heron, you can get anybody in the anime, young or old, with any of his movies, and you will be good. You will be good. I said the first two because those are some of my favorites. There's other ones, obviously. There's a bunch of them. And a lot of them are on the Max streaming service. You can catch them there. The Boy and the Heron should make his way there too. So I'm going to say facts to most of this list. Some of them I was like kind of on the fence on, but I'm going to be real. I'm going to say facts to them. The reason I said earlier, though, just to bring it back, the reason I said earlier that you do not put your girl, or anybody for that matter, onto One Piece is not because of the show. One Piece is an amazing show, amazing story, amazing manga, all that. It's just the fact that we got to be real. One Piece, when you tell somebody about any show, whether it be anime or non-anime, cartoon, live action, whatever, one of the first things people usually say is how many seasons or how many episodes, right? So you can't just jump out and go, yo, you should watch One Piece, this dope show about pirates, and they got powers, and there's fire, and this captain got a straw hat, and he's beating everybody up. You know, I like One Piece, but I know I can't put everybody onto it. Because whereas currently we are sitting here talking and chilling, there's over 1,100 episodes of One Piece. Over 1,100 episodes. That number scares everybody. It scares even me, and I've seen all 1,100 episodes of One Piece. It's just I was fortunate enough to see it when they were first coming out up to this point. A lot of other people didn't get that lucky. So it's not easy to just tell somebody to watch that. It's easier to tell them to watch the live action version on Netflix. So if you want to do that, do that. But wait till a person gets more into anime and say this is something I want to watch before you show them a show like One Piece. And even Naruto, as dope as it is and as easy as it is to get somebody influenced into anime with it, Naruto itself, including the story of his son Boruto, is over 700 episodes. So that's still pretty long, but it's up to a person to want to watch these shows. Other notable ones that I think they should have mentioned on here is like Pokemon. But I think they feel that people have already saw Pokemon when they were kids. And a lot of us when we were kids didn't even know Pokemon was an anime unless we really paid attention to it. We just thought it was a really cool cartoon that Kids WB just made. I know I thought that. I thought Kids WB was dope because they snagged Batman from Fox and brought it over and then brought Superman at the same time. So I thought that at the time Pokemon wasn't even an anime. And then lo and behold, it was a whole revolution of cartoons on Saturday mornings that were anime. Like One Piece was one of them, and Yu-Gi-Oh!, Ultimate Muscle, Beautiful Joe, Flint the Time Detective. I can go on and on and on. But a lot of these shows came out when I was coming up myself, like Cowboy Bebop, like Sailor Moon. A lot of them was coming out when I was on the come up, Mega Man, and a lot of them were dope. So there are some that you could put some people onto, and there aren't some. But yeah, Pokemon is definitely one of them I would throw on there. Spy X Family. If you want to go the sports route, you can go as far as Blue Lock, which is a soccer anime, or Slam Dunk, boxing one, Hajime no Ippo, which is a great fighting one about boxing, or Haikyuu, which is a dope one about volleyball. And Demon Slayer is also up there too. I'm surprised they didn't use a mainstream one like Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer is a really dope one as well. And most of these aren't a lot of episodes. But just remember, make sure you're not telling somebody about an anime that has a lot of episodes and expecting them to watch it. And also, don't, for the love of everything in the world of anime, don't give too much away about the anime. If you want a person to get into any show, including anime, don't give too much about the anime. Just simple, brief. You saw what I was doing. Simple, brief. Hey, man gets powers. Man starts cooking. Man beats people up. Haters are over there. The ops is coming. Game over. Watch it on Netflix. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just get in and out. People will rock with it, and you good from there. But don't give too much away. We are anime heads. We are so excited about the product that we will tell you everything from the manga to when it was created, why it was created, what games it made, what movies it made, the opening theme song and the ending theme song. And of course, final golden rule, speaking of that, if you're going to put somebody onto anime, you have to sacrifice your love for the openings and endings. Anime fans, it's a well-known fact that if you love anime, most of the time you will sit through the opening and ending sequences, the theme songs. You remember back in the days when you watch cartoons, Life is like a hurricane. You singing DuckTales and Chippendales and all that. But when you got older, you wasn't singing, theme songs ain't what they used to be anymore. You know what I'm saying? Most of them is instrumentals now. But anime has a wonderful selection of opening and ending themes. However, majority of them are sung in their native tongue of Japanese. So a lot of people ain't gonna watch it because they don't know the words being sent and they don't feel like reading subtitles. Some people wait for English dubs. Just remember, don't try to put them onto the song. Just let them fall in love with anime first and then find the song for them. And when they do, they good. Nobody knows any, I promise you right now, nobody knows a single Japanese Pokemon theme song from the anime, but they know the one that came out in America. The one. They don't even know Johto Journeys, none of that. They know the one. I can go on and on and on, people. But the bottom line is, if you're going to put your friends on the anime, you need to find the one that speaks to them. One that can make them feel like this is why your friend is onto the genre. This is why they like the genre so much. Because anime is a beautiful thing. So many different versions of anime came out, and there's so much time for so much more. And the summer's coming up, and I want to talk more about anime, and you will see me talk more about anime on this show because I love anime. I'm a huge One Piece fan, as you can see. I love Bleach, and there's so much more, but we'll do that on another episode. But we have so much more to come with this show, so be on the lookout. Catch us on YouTube. Follow us on social media at Marvlat for now, MARVLATT. You can catch me on there. I'm going to put clips on there. I'm going to tell you about the show. Anything else that I do on there, you're going to see, as well as my other page, Anime Rap Intros, which is ANIMERAPINTROS. Got me going back to the spelling bee up in here, man. Anyway, check me out on both of those pages. The Anime Rap Intro ones, like I told you, I love openings and endings. And when I grew up, I always wondered why there was never, ever, ever a rap song attached to it, English rap song. Because a lot of times they didn't really do it. There was a few, Samurai Champloo, Afro Samurai, there was a few, but there just wasn't one for everyone. What if every anime chose to do that? So I'm exploring that and seeing where it goes and taking it from there. We're going to have fun, you know what I'm saying? So catch me on both of those pages, doing my thing. And remember, put your friends on the anime lightly. Put friends on the anime responsibly. You know what I mean? I'm being stupid. But anyway, catch y'all next time on another edition of the Marvy Marv Show. Peace. Enjoy anime, people.